Heartwarming 12-year-old uncovers incredible truth while singing to save her mom at talent show. In the heart of Maple Grove, where laughter and gossip intermingled like summer heat, Mia stood with her back against a wall, her small frame nearly invisible amid a crowd of animated friends. At 12 years old, she was the quintessential shy girl, often retreating into the comforting embrace of music when the world felt too loud. But as the annual talent show approached, a heavy weight settled on her chest. Her mother, once a beacon of strength as a dedicated nurse, now lay bedridden, enveloped in a disease that stripped their lives of color and certainty. All Mia wanted was to bring a little light back into their lives, and maybe, just maybe, the prize money from the talent show could help. She practiced every night, her voice rising and falling through the empty halls of their modest home, notes fluttering like butterflies in a garden of dreams. Each song was a prayer, woven from her heartstrings. But as the days ticked away, so did her confidence, drained by whispers that slithered through the town like shadows. "Did you hear? The Talbots can't even afford the Dr. S. bills," the townsfolk murmured. Mia's cheeks burned with shame, and she often found herself biting her lip to keep from crying. Then, one fateful afternoon, she met Charlie, a kind, silver-haired war veteran who lingered at the diner, where her mother once served the best pie in town. He noticed Mia sitting alone and approached her with a friendly smile. "Got a voice, don't ya? Singin' is the best way to fight back." He shared tales of his service, of love and bravery. Mia listened, captivated. During one of their conversations, Charlie revealed her mother's secret, how she had saved lives in the heat of battle. A true hero among heroes. It was a revelation that ignited a fire inside Mia. If her mom could be brave for others, maybe Mia could be brave for her. As the talent show neared, Mia poured her heart into a song, one that honored her mother's hidden legacy. Her fingers trembled, but determination filled her lungs. On the night of the show, anxiety coiled around her like a snake, and she could feel the skepticism in the audience's air. Moments before she stepped on stage, the tension was thick enough to slice through. What if they didn't care? What if she was too different, too much of the girl from the struggling family that didn't belong? But just as the weight of doubt began to bear down, Mia spotted Charlie in the audience. He nodded encouragingly, and that small gesture lifted her spirits. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue with that. She stepped onto the stage, a small girl in a big world, her heart pounding like thunder. She began to sing, her voice shaking at first, then soaring higher, painting their struggles, their hopes, and her mother's bravery in a melody. The room fell silent, frowning faces slowly softening. Just as doubt began to creep back in, Charlie stood up, sharing her mother's story with resolve. "Listen closely, folks," he called out. "This girl's got a spirit that mirrors her mother's fierce heart. Why don't we stop judging while we have the chance to embrace?" Uncertainty hung in the air, mingling with her song. It was a plea, a promise, and Mia could almost feel the crowd transforming. But would they truly see her? Would her love and her mother's courage bridge the chasm of prejudice? The questions echoed in the charged silence, leaving hearts and minds on the verge of awakening. The moment felt electric, filled with possibility. Mia poured every ounce of love and sorrow into her song, letting the notes spill from her heart. Her voice caught in the air, thick like honey, wrapping around the audience like a warm embrace. As she sang, the faces of the crowd shifted. No longer were they just familiar silhouettes outlined by dim stage lights, but real people witnessing something special. Eyes widened, fingers tapped on purses and knees, and whispers of surprise floated throughout the venue. For a brief moment, the weight of the world slipped away. Mia saw the flicker of understanding in the audience's eyes, the way their frowns relaxed, their expressions softened. They were beginning to listen. Charlie stood proudly yet humbly, a living testament to the bravery he had spoken of. The stories he shared of her mother resonated deeply as Mia sung. They were starting to see the truth of her mother's strength mirrored in Mia's fragile, yet fierce performance as she finished the final note. A silence that seemed to stretch on for eternity filled the room. Mia felt as if time itself had come to a halt. Her heart hammered against her ribs, filling her ears with a drumming sound. Then, just as she prepared for the tide of disappointment, the first clap rang out like thunder, followed by another, and then another, as if the hands of the audience were suddenly alive. Cheers erupted, vibrant and powerful, wrapping around her like a protective cloak. Mia's face lit up, a smile breaking through the tears that had threatened her throughout the song. She took a deep breath, longing to absorb this moment fully, to remember how it felt to be seen, valued, and loved. Mia! 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 The crowd chanted, their voices a mixture of admiration and empathy, the air thick with applause and support. It was no longer about the talent showcase, it was about connection. It was about community healing, about a young girl bravely stepping into her truth while honoring the woman who had shaped her to end that whirlwind of joy. Mia's gaze flickered to Charlie, who nodded with unmistakable pride. In that glance, she knew they had achieved something together, bridging the gap between struggle and recognition. But amid the chanting, a flicker of uncertainty remained. What would happen when the lights went out and reality came crashing back in? As the applause subsided, the host of the talent show approached the stage, a clipboard in hand and a smile plastered across their face. "We've just witnessed something truly magical here tonight," they said, voice trembling with emotion. "And I think it's safe to say we've all found out something extraordinary about this young talent." The words hung in the air, piquing curiosity while the crowd awaited the announcement of the results. Mia's stomach churned with nervous energy, both excited and scared of what was next. Had she done enough? Would this night change everything for her and her mom? Just then, the host leaned in closer, a glint of mischief in their gaze. "But even more than that, I think we're all wondering about a certain secret that Mia has." The moment seemed to freeze, Mia's heart racing. What secret? A wave of uncertainty washed over her, drowning out the cheers now echoing behind her. Was she ready for the truth to unfold on this stage, just as she had done in her song? Just as their eyes locked, the sound of chaos erupted from the back of the auditorium, pulling their attention away. Her heart skipped, bracing for whatever came next. Mia's heart raced at the sound of chaos. The jubilant atmosphere in the auditorium shifted from celebration to confusion. People turned to see what was happening. Mia squinted into the dim light, trying to make sense of the tumult. A figure emerged from the shadows at the back of the crowded room, and in a moment that felt like slow motion, she recognized him. It was her father. Time had altered him, his shoulders hunched in weariness, his eyes clouded with regret. Gasps rippled through the crowd as they caught sight of him. The applause that had erupted moments ago faded into uneasy murmurs. Mia wanted to step back, to melt into the stage under the weight of this unexpected entrance, but she felt Charlie's steady gaze at her side, grounding her. "Mia?" Her father's voice broke through the buzz, raw and pleading. As he pushed his way forward, desperation clinging to every syllable. Her breath caught. Memories flooded back, days forgotten, laughter etched in time, and the echoes of love that had turned to silence. She hadn't seen him in months, and his absence felt like a scar that had yet to fully heal. "Why are you here?" she managed to ask, her voice a whisper that only she could hear. The world around her felt muted, as if a thick fog was muffling everything else. "Mia, I came to see you, to hear you sing." I didn't know how deeply he hesitated, searching for the right words. "I'm so sorry for everything, for leaving you and your mom." People shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Conflicting emotions painted the room, a mixture of sympathy and judgment. Mia's heart clenched. Should she let this moment become something healing, or would it fracture her pride even more? "Mia," the host's voice called, drawing attention again as they turned to face the audience, through a raised hand signaling calm. "It seems we have a surprise guest tonight, and a powerful moment unfolding right here before us. The murmurs grew loud, but the host pushed on with excitement. Can we give a warm welcome back to Mia's father? The crowd hesitated, caught in a web of emotions. Some clapped, unsure, while others remained silent, torn between anger and compassion. Mia stood frozen, caught between a yearning for connection and the hurt of betrayal that had been isolating her. What was she supposed to feel? How could she help heal while being acutely aware of the gaping hole in her heart? Mia, please, her father implored, stepping closer now. I've missed you every day. I'm trying to change. I want to support you. Both of you. Can you forgive me? Tears welled in her eyes, emotions swirling within. While she had poured her heart out in song moments ago, this was an entirely different melody. The crowd held its breath, waiting for her response. She glanced at Charlie, his expression a calm, supportive presence amid the storm brewing inside her. Yes, she whispered, almost to herself, as the word broke free. But it'll take time. A murmur of surprise rippled through the audience. Mia felt the warmth of understanding spread through the air, connecting each person present in that moment of vulnerability. Before she processed what exactly she just said, a sense of resolve washed over her. They would face this together, like the melody she had sung, filled with both sorrow and hope. But just as that hope began to settle in her heart, the host stepped closer, excitement radiating. And now let us get back to the show. We have one more surprise to unveil. Mia's heart sank. A mix of emotions flooded in once more. Was she ready for another surprise? Would there be truth revealed that she hadn't yet grasped? In that swirling uncertainty, one thought lingered. Life was only just beginning its next verse. The crowd's anticipation hung in the air, thick with a mix of confusion and expectation. Mia felt the world around her blur as the host continued speaking. She tried to tune back in, but the rhythm of her own heartbeat drowned out the words. Her father was still there, now just a few feet away, his gaze locked onto her, pleading for connection. Mia, please, don't just leave me here, he said, his voice trembling with vulnerability. You don't understand how much I've missed out on, how much I've regretted. The spotlight no longer felt like a stage. It felt like a spotlight on the fragile threads of their relationship. Did she dare reach for them to pull her father closer? Or would it unravel everything? People in the audience whispered, some sharing glances, others shaking their heads. Mia felt as if they were all watching her closely, waiting for what she would do next. The weight of expectation pressed against her chest. Can we just, Mia breathed out, barely audible even to herself. Can we just take a minute? Her father nodded, fresh guilt washing over his face. I know it's a lot, Mia, he said, his voice dropping as he tried to bridge the gap. I'm not asking for everything right away. Just a moment, just one moment to explain. I want to show you I can be better, that I am better now. Mia could only nod. Everything was pulling her in opposite directions. Past hurt tugged on one side, while a flicker of hope danced on the other. Could she allow the hope to flourish? Could they rebuild what had shattered so long ago? Just then, the host announced, and now, let us bring out our final surprise performer. A troupe of kids burst onto the stage, joyful and energetic. They danced and sang, drawing laughter and applause from the crowd. Mia, for the first time in moments, found herself laughing too, the infectious joy breaking through her heavy heart. But something else was at play. As the music reverberated in the auditorium, she caught sight of Charlie, a reassuring smile playing on his lips. It was then that she remembered the show was also meant to be about her. It was her talent, her moment, not just the reunion. With every beat of the song, clarity washed over her. She stepped closer to the front of the stage, pulled away by a sudden rush of courage. I want to sing. I want to show everyone, she called out, surprising even herself. The crowd erupted in cheers, the encouragement warming her from within. Let us do it. I'll sing. She turned to her father, an invitation in her eyes. Come on stage with me. He looked shocked and touched, as if she held his heart in her palms. With a series of hesitant steps, he moved toward her, and together they faced the crowd. Mia felt the energy shift. It was a new beginning, fragile yet exciting. The music soared, and as the melody filled the hall, she found her voice, strong and clear. It echoed through the auditorium, intertwining with the joy around her. But just as they began to harmonize, the lights flickered, and the sound system crackled ominously before fading entirely. Confusion spread among the audience as murmurs replaced the music, and Mia's heart raced again. Was this moment slipping away? Wait, she shouted, still holding her father's hand tightly. Just one more thing. This isn't over. The crowd leaned forward, eyes wide and filled with curiosity. What would her next verse reveal? With that question lingering in the air, Mia could feel the weight of her father's presence, a steady heartbeat to anchor her as they faced whatever awaited them next. In the silence that followed, the tension was palpable, leaving everyone wondering what would happen when the lights came back on. The silence stretched, heavy and almost suffocating. Mia could hear her own breath as it blended with the quiet buzz of the audience. She squeezed her father's hand tighter, drawing courage from his warmth. Despite the silence that enveloped them, she sensed the anticipation hanging in the air like a fragile thread ready to snap. What am I supposed to do now? She thought, heart racing. In that precious stillness, she glanced at the crowd. It was a sea of faces, some curious, some worried, but all fixated on them. She felt a surge of connection, a single moment when it seemed everyone was rooting for her, standing with her in both fear and hope. And then, just as her uncertainty threatened to crush her confidence, she remembered Charlie's smile. His unwavering belief in her made her heartbeat pulse with renewed vigor. She wanted to shine, for herself, for her father, for Charlie, and for everyone she loved. Okay, she whispered to herself, barely audible. Let us do this. Mia took a deep breath, the shaky intake filling her lungs with determination. I'm ready, she declared, feeling a flame ignite within. She lifted her gaze to her father, who wore an expression that blurred the lines between hope and disbelief. Stay with me, just stay with me, she said softly, locking eyes with him as if in response to her unspoken challenge. The lights flickered back on, flooding the stage with brilliant illumination. The audience erupted into cheers and applause, the rhythm carrying her forward. Let us start again, Mia said, her voice rising above the chaos. And like a seed breaking through the frost, she began to sing, her voice bright and clear, full of emotions bubbling beneath the surface. The first notes echoed out into the audience. Her heart soared. This was her moment. She could feel it in her bones. As the melody flowed, she stumbled slightly over one line but steadied herself, catching her father's gaze. There was pride shining through his eyes, and right then, she knew this performance was not just about talent. It was about connection, vulnerability, and transformations, both theirs and those of the audience. The crowd was with her. Every note she sang seemed to weave an invisible thread connecting her heart to theirs. She poured everything she had into the song, the lyrics turning into her truth, her story, and her plea. With each chorus, she became bolder. Their harmonizing felt like a dance, and whatever doubt had flickered between them began to twinkle differently now, more like a constellation guiding them. Perhaps they could heal while standing together on this stage. But just then, her voice caught in her throat. As she hit the final note, the realization washed over her like a tide. This wasn't just a performance. It was an opportunity to break the cycle of hurt and start anew. She looked at her father, her heart racing. What do you want from me? She asked, her voice trembling. The crowd held its breath. All were waiting for an answer, her father, the audience, but most importantly, Mia herself. The raw honesty of the moment surged around them like electricity. As her father opened his mouth to respond, the anticipation grew thick. But what would he say? Would he step into this moment of truth or shy away again? Mia realized it was more than just a show now. It was a chance to speak their untold story aloud. The lights, the applause, the song, they were mere backdrop to the real drama unfolding. Would her father voice the sincerity she longed for? Or would the moment slip through their fingers once more? The air crackled with tension as her father's mouth moved, but no sound came forth. Mia felt her heart beat a frantic rhythm, each pulse echoing her desperation. She searched his eyes, desperately hoping to find the word, the answer, the connection they so desperately needed. Mia, he finally spoke, breaking the silence that felt both liberating and frightening. His voice trembled as if every syllable was weighed down by years of unspoken regrets. I've wanted to tell you it's, but what he was about to say was swallowed in the swell of applause from the audience, their eagerness to show support drowning out the vulnerability that hovered between them like a mist. It felt cruel, almost comical, that the world could be celebrating something so monumental while the heart of their relationship teetered on a precipice. Mia's breath hitched. She could feel the crowd shift, their energy changing as they realized the gravity of the moment. She wished she could hold onto this flicker of hope, a single moment where everything felt possible. But as her father faltered, the dam of emotions threatened to break. Please was all she managed to whisper. Focusing all her energy into those simple words, he took a deep breath, like a swimmer preparing to plunge into an icy pool. I wanted to tell you I'm proud of you, he said finally, his voice steadier now, igniting something within her. I've watched you grow, and every part of me wishes I could be as brave proud. She interrupted, frustration bursting like a firework. Is that all you can say? I need more than that. I need you to understand, to be part of this with me right now. The crowd's murmurs swept through the theater, their empathy shifting into something more intense. Had they all felt this kind of disconnect? The kind that weighed heavy on a family's heart? I'm trying to, he stammered, continuing to search for the right words. But it's hard to. Mia exhaled softly, her heart sinking at his hesitance. Their shared moment was slipping away, and adrenaline rushed through her, propelling her forward. Then let us do this together. Please don't let this moment be just another mischance. I've always felt lost without you, but this is about so much more than just us. It's about healing. With her father's eyes locked onto hers, she felt a rush of recognition. Perhaps they were on the brink of something bigger. Perhaps they could rise from the ashes of their struggles together. In the ensuing silence, she turned back to the audience, a new determination bubbling within. Okay then, let us show them what we can do together. The weight of her spirit overwhelmed her, and she led the next melody, connecting back with the crowd. Each note felt like a tether, binding her father back to her once more. He joined her, his voice trembling but present. As their harmonies wove together, the bittersweet truth stirred through the audience, a feeling of hope and possibility washing over every heart present. They weren't just performing now. They were unveiling their story, unraveling the pain of the past note by note. Mia felt an overwhelming sense of belonging and acceptance flow through them as the song reached its crescendo, their eyes meeting in a new light. But just when Mia thought they had turned a corner, a sudden chill ran down her spine. The back door swung open, and a silhouette stepped into the bright lights, casting shadows over their sudden moment of truth. Mia's heart dropped at the sight. Who was it? What could this new presence mean for their fragile resolve? As the shadowed figure stepped fully into the light, Mia felt the audience shift again, a collective gasp trailing through the rows of onlookers. The newcomer was a woman, with disheveled hair and an intensity in her gaze that made Mia's heart race. It felt like she did not belong in this moment of reconciliation. Mia, the woman's voice rang out, loud and piercing against the fading echoes of the performance. The edge tone filtered into every corner of the theater, drawing all eyes away from the stage and toward her. Mia's breath caught in her throat. The world around her faded, the music slipping away into silence. She recognized that voice, though it had been years since she had heard it, a voice that had once filled her life with warmth and laughter. "Mom?" Mia finally said, barely above a whisper, feeling as if she had stepped into a dream or perhaps a nightmare. Her heart was caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Joy, confusion, disbelief. Her father turned ashen, the pride that had ignited his spirit moments ago now extinguished. Fear and uncertainty flickered in his eyes, a reflection of the tumultuous history he had shared with the woman before them. "Let me explain," the woman started, taking a step forward, but Mia's body stiffened. She had always yearned for this moment, yet here it was, arriving with chaos instead of clarity. "No, you don't get to just walk back in. Not now." Mia's voice trembled, fresh tears threatening to spill as the weight of the evening bore down on her. For so long, she had dreamed of the day they would be together again. But this wasn't the fairy tale she had envisioned. "Mia, please listen." The woman's eyes glistened with urgency, her hands raised as if to soothe. "I came to see you. I've made mistakes, but I'm here to make things right. You need to know the truth." As the words hung in the air, the audience sat in stunned silence. Everyone felt the emotional tidal wave, sensing that they were witnessing more than a family conflict. This was a raw reckoning, powerful enough to shake the foundations of what Mia thought she knew. "Mia," her father finally spoke, his voice gravelly. "I didn't know she'd come. Maybe we should let her explain." "No," Mia snapped, her heart racing. "She abandoned us. I can't just stand here and let her waltz back into my life." The tension swelled, tightening around them as confusion painted the crowd's expressions. Every face held a different story, a mirror reflection of Mia's own feelings of betrayal, longing, and pain. The woman took a deep, shaky breath. "I know you're angry, and you have every right to be, but what I have to say could change everything." She stepped closer, her gaze pleading. "The truth is bigger than all of us." Mia's heart raced even faster. What truth? What could possibly shift the ground beneath her? Her mind raced with questions, her defenses rising as she weighed the chances of a new betrayal against the hope of understanding. Just tell me," Mia said finally, her voice barely above a whisper, her mind swirling. With the weight of history pressing heavy in the air, the woman said the words that would alter everything Mia believed. "I'm not just here to tell you I missed you. I'm here because you have a brother you never knew about." The revelation echoed through the silent theater, a shockwave of possibilities rolling through Mia's mind. A brother? What did that even mean? Mia felt her world tilt, a rush of emotions threatening to drown her. "Mom," she began, unsure of where the conversation could lead them next. As she searched her mother's face for answers, she found only more questions, each one more haunting than the last. What other secrets lay hidden beneath the surface of their lives? Was this the beginning of something new or just another layer of confusion? Mia took a shaky breath, ready to dive into the unknown. What awaited them beyond this moment? The silence felt thick, as if the entire theater was holding its breath. Mia's heart pounded like a drum in her chest. A brother? She couldn't wrap her mind around it. All those years of feeling alone, of wondering why her family felt incomplete, and now the possibility of another sibling was crashing down on her like a tidal wave. "Mom, what do you mean I have a brother?" Mia asked, her voice trembling yet filled with the intensity of disbelief. Memories of childhood whispers, of bedtime stories, began to swirl in her mind, colliding with the present in a dizzying dance. The woman stepped closer again, her expression softening as she searched Mia's eyes for understanding. "It's not as straightforward as it seems. I was young and scared when he was born. Things got complicated." Mia's father's wary gaze shifted between them, absorbing the revelation. With tension as thick as the curtains on stage, he moved a fraction closer, his hand brushing against his daughter's shoulder. It was a silent gesture of support, a reminder that she was not entirely alone in this unraveling family tapestry. "Yes, alive?" Mia's words were faint, but they hung in the air heavy with a mix of hope and fear. "Yes, and I needed to protect him. Protect you both," the woman replied, her voice cracking. "But I didn't know how. I thought I could create a better life for you away from the chaos." The audience was a sea of faces, captivated and bewildered, watching this family drama unfold before them like a live play. Mia felt their eyes on her, but all she could focus on was the woman before her, the stranger who had once been everything. "Protect us? You left us." Mia's voice echoed through the theater, bitterness rising. "You got to live your life while we struggled. I know I was a coward, But please, you have to believe me, it was unbearable to think of you both suffering because of my choices. Her mother pleaded, bending under the weight of her own regret. This is why I've come back. This is why I need to tell you everything. Mia wanted to scream, to push this woman away, but a flicker of curiosity ignited within her. What had happened to her brother? Why had their paths never crossed? What's his name? She pressed, heart racing as the thought of having a brother took root. His name is Ethan, and he has been looking for you, her mother admitted, tears pooling in her eyes. He has been searching for answers just like you have. A rush of emotions broke over Mia, confusion mingling with excitement. Could this really be true? What if there was a brother out there, someone who shared her blood? The thought both frightened and exhilarated her. But would he be like their mother? Could he fill the emptiness she had felt for years? Mia, her father interjected gently, sensing her turmoil. Before we go any further, let us take a moment to breathe, to absorb what she has just shared. You don't have to decide anything right now. Mia looked at him, his steady eyes grounding her. Yet still, the whirlwind of emotions spun inside her. The world felt upside down, and she didn't know how to bring it back to balance. What if I want to meet him? She surprised herself with her own inquiry. The desire to know him sparked something deep within her, a longing that had been buried beneath years of loss and suffering. Her mother took a tentative step closer. If you'd be willing, I could help you find him. I could tell you everything about him. The desperation in her voice echoed off the theater walls, pleading for a chance at redemption. But as they faced each other, a different wave washed over Mia, an unsettling balance of hope and fear, bonds and betrayals. The truth was unfolding, yet so many questions remained. Mia, we should think this through, her father cautioned. Worry etched across his face. The tension in the air thickened again as Mia engulfed herself in her swirling thoughts, teetering on the edge of resolution, and just as her mind began to settle, her mother spoke again, but this time it was a whisper, almost lost beneath the din of the audience. You need to know, there are people who want to silence your brother too. Mia's pulse quickened. There was more to this story than she had anticipated. Who would want to silence a boy she had yet to meet? As excitement began to sprout alongside fear, she realized she was standing at the edge of something monumental, something that could redefine everything she believed in. Mia took a deep breath, contemplating the path ahead. Would she find her brother? What other secrets awaited her? And, more importantly, who would they become together? Mia's mind raced, her heart still pounding in her chest. Silence your brother? She repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. The words hung in the air like an ominous cloud, casting a shadow over her growing curiosity. What kind of danger was her brother in? The audience, still captivated by the unfolding scene, began to murmur among themselves. It felt as if they were witnesses to a battle, each member picking a side. Mia glanced around, taking in the sea of concerned faces. Some shared looks of sympathy, while others wore expressions tinted with intrigue. Mia, her mother urged, desperate. I never meant for you to find out like this. I wanted to protect you both. I thought I could shield you from the truth. But it's time for you to know everything. Ethan needs your help. Help? How could she help someone she had never known? A brother that could be just as lost as she was. The very thought left her feeling exposed, vulnerable yet alive. I don't even know him, Mia said, the weight of the revelation pooling inside her like a heavy stone. How can I help him? She felt the questions bubble out of her. Frantic, desperate. What's going on? Why do I need to protect him? Her mother looked grave, rubbing her hands together as if the act might summon the right words. Ethan has been looking for you. Yes, but there are people who don't want him found. They believe he knows something too dangerous, something that could unravel their world. Mia's eyes widened, the spark of adrenaline coursing through her veins. What could he possibly know? The thrill of potential danger blended strangely with her longing for connection. The very essence of family began to take on a new shape, one defined not only by love but by a shared burden. Her father's voice broke through the fog. Mia, listen to your mother. This isn't just about you knowing Ethan. It's about the risks involved. We should tread carefully. But for Mia, the fear faded momentarily in the face of excitement. The realization that a brother existed out there, someone who shared her blood and maybe even her history, filled her with courage. She thought of her life, of every lonely night, every unanswered question. What if I want to meet him? The words escaped her lips before she could stop them. The longing to connect, to bridge the chasm of her past, echoed louder than her fears. Her mother's eyes softened, but a glimmer of worry lurked beneath her gaze. If you're willing to look for him, it will change everything. You'll need to be prepared for the truth, for whatever might come next. Mia nodded, feeling a fire spark within her, a determination to dive into the unknown. I'm ready, she said, surprising even herself. If my brother needs me, I have to try. The moment hung between them, fraught with the weight of potential and peril. Her father's hand squeezed her shoulder, his concern palpable, yet proud. As Mia turned to face the stage, her heart fluttered with both anxiety and hope. How do we find him? I have contacts who can help. We'll figure it out together, her mother said, stepping closer, a tentative bridge appearing between them. But before Mia could respond, her mother's voice trembled once more, barely audible amidst the noise of the audience. Just remember, Mia, the truth isn't always what we want it to be. Those words echoed internally, bouncing off the walls of her mind. As the gravity of her decision settled around her, a big question loomed. What truths could be hidden, lurking just beneath the surface of this reunion? And as Mia felt the energy in the room shift, a sense of destiny washed over her. She wasn't just looking for a brother anymore. She was stepping into her own story, one that promised danger and revelation. Would she be able to uncover the truth about Ethan before the shadows closed in around them? Mia braced herself. Whatever awaited was now just around the corner. Mia's heart raced, the weight of revelations pressing against her chest. I'm ready, she whispered, determination flickering in her eyes. The possibility of a brother, of a new beginning, infused her with a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. But uncertainty lingered like a shadow, tugging at her thoughts. She turned to her father, searching for support. His eyes, filled with concern and courage, met hers. You're not alone in this, Mia. I'll be here to help however I can, he promised, steeling himself for the journey ahead. With a deep breath, Mia faced her mother again. Okay, let us find Ethan. We have to help him. The conviction in her voice rang clear, echoing within the silent theater. The audience was invested now, their collective breath held in anticipation of what would come next. Mia, her mother, started, the urgency in her voice palpable. This won't be easy. There are people who wish to keep him hidden. We have to tread carefully. The weight of those words hung in the air, casting tentative shadows over their newfound connection. I understand, Mia replied, drawing strength from the crowd that surrounded them. She could feel their eyes, a warm wave of support flowing towards her. This was a community willing to embrace her truth, their truths. As the three of them stood together, a poignant sense of unity emerged. It felt like they were standing on the precipice of something monumental, gazing out over an uncharted landscape filled with hope, fear, and infinite possibilities. Let South leave this place and start. Mia's voice trembled slightly, fueled by an urge to act. Where do we even begin? Her mother shot a glance at the audience, the tension still thick in the air before responding. There's a contact who may know where he is. They've kept tabs on the people searching for him. I can reach out. Her hands trembled, but the resolve in her voice betrayed the vulnerability of her heart. Then let us do it. Now, Mia exclaimed, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The moment felt like a movie. She was not just Mia, the shy girl anymore. She was a warrior racing into the unknown. All right, we'll all meet at my place, her mother stated, her voice firm. Mia felt her resolve push back against the uncertainty swirling in her mind. But first, let us finish what we started here tonight. From the corner of her eye, Mia could see Charlie watching, still beaming with pride. In that moment, she realized this wasn't just about a reunion. It was about healing the wrongs of the past, connecting with those who inspired love and courage in her heart. Mia turned towards the audience, overcoming the lingering doubt. I want to thank each of you who stood by me, who listened and supported me tonight. You are the reason I have the strength to move forward. The crowd erupted in applause, voices lifting higher in unison, echoing their support for her journey ahead. She could feel the energy exchanging love and hope swirling around her, grounding her with every cheer and nod. With her heart racing, she lifted her chin at her father and then back to her mother. The three of them shared a united front as, for the first time in a long while, Mia understood one vital truth: struggles could forge strength. As they stepped off the stage together, the future shone dimly ahead. Mia felt lighter somehow, as if every act of bravery she had taken had slowly peeled away the layers of doubt. The journey to find her brother awaited, but she was not merely a girl stepping into the chaos. She was a part of a family reuniting, of shattered hearts mending through shared aspirations toward light. In that moment, they walked forward, hand in hand, ready for whatever lay ahead. And now, dear viewers, this is your moment. Subscribe immediately to our channel, so you won't miss the next exclusive stories that will reach your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. You need to support us to see more incredible transformations unfold. Comment below with your thoughts, reactions, and feelings about this powerful ending. Your voice matters. And for the love of stories, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans know the real importance of rallying around our channel.